Michio Kaku is a well-known scientist and author of popular science books. His most recent book is on quantum computing, and it has been called the worst book about quantum computing by people working in the field. And it has even made it into memes like this one. Being put on the same level as Deepak Chopra and quantum healing is an absolute violation. That's harsh. So obviously, I had to get it. The book first gives a short introduction to computing, quantum physics and then quantum computers, which is roughly the first 100 pages. The next 200 pages contain possible applications, like creating new kinds of batteries, solving nuclear fusion and even curing cancer. And I do think this is not a bad approach per se for explaining a new technology. Like, you could explain what a computer is, either by describing a Turing machine, binary operations and CPU architecture, or you could talk about the internet, video games and streaming movies. Less technical for sure, but more tangible. Unfortunately, this is grossly overdone here, so this is easily the biggest flaw with the entire book. It is barely about quantum computing. Everything it says about quantum computing could be easily summarized in like 5 sentences. Furthermore, a lot of the stuff that is in there is somewhat inaccurate or at least misleading. Many of the problems that could supposedly be solved by quantum computers have actually very little to do with quantum computers and what they are good at. And I know presenting science to a wider audience must by necessity be simplified, maybe even distorted, at least a little bit. But this just feels completely off at times. And I can only speculate why. Maybe Kaku's script was heavily edited or modified. For example, there are those computer programs that reduce the text down to 8th grade reading level. That might give you something like this. The words are simpler, the main drift is still somewhat there, but some of the sense is just gone. A good analogy I can offer is that a lot of it reads as if it had been written by ChatGPT 1.5. Now, I don't know if this is the worst book about quantum computing, but I do agree that its treatment of quantum computing is at the same time marginal and very poor. Subscribe for more.